You want your models to stand out from all the battle-ready models? Then this is your tutorial. Hello and welcome, my name is Markus, I'm a professional miniature painter. In our previous Limitless painting video, we worked on the very fundamentals of your model. Together, we got a very solid quality. The basics are done, but this is not the end of the road. Now, we work on a more delicate way of painting. We'll push the shadows, but also the highlights of your model. But the best of all, you don't need any new material, no new tools, no new paints, everything like in the previous video. We will show you all the equipment in the description below. But let's paint. Me personally, I really like to start with the big volumes. So in that case, I start with the skin of our lizard man. A common mistake on painting, especially on big volumes, is that you go up the highlights too quick. Stay calm, stick to your basic color. You already shaded them, so they are darker than they were before. Take your basic color and paint it on all big surfaces of the skin, but don't touch the recesses and also the very low parts of that surface. But very important, like the basics, if that coat of paint is not opaque, you will need a second one. After that layer of paint is dry, or maybe several of layers are dry, you need to check out your model. Is it bright enough? Is it opaque? Check it out, and if it's fine, you can leave it like that. Especially on dark surfaces like dark leather or maybe black, you will probably need another highlight to make it pop out. So if this color is not bright enough and you want to make your first highlight, it's nothing easier than that. I have 3 possibilities for you for a very easy first highlight. So starting with your base color, you can mix in one of the following colors to make it to your first highlight. First, you can use white. Obviously, it will make your base color brighter, but sometimes it makes it a little bit more grayish. Number 2, off-white. This is my personal favorite. I usually take ice yellow or ice blue. Number 3, a pre-mixed brighter color of your base color. For example, a light green for your dark green. The only risk is that you never know how it turns out on your model. For me personally, I stick with option number 2. In my opinion, that's the way with the most control over your paint. Especially for beginners, this might seem a little bit complicated, but I got your back. I will lead you through the whole process. Now we're done with the biggest part of the model, the skin. We will continue with the next step, feathers. It might seem a little bit complicated sometimes because it's a lot of small details, a lot of small residues. But keep in mind, we work on big volumes, not on the very small details. That's for the next part. So for me personally, I really love the way of painting from the big volumes to the small volumes. I really like to finish the bigger stuff before I come to the delicate parts. But let's talk about metallic paints. Sometimes metallic paints can be a pain in the ass. I really recommend double check your paint consistency. For that step, I will not recommend mixing any kind of brighter color in your metallic base color. After we're done with our metallics, we're finished with all the big volumes. So let's get into the more delicate parts. First of all, there is no blueprint. So there is no easy way and no easy way of teaching you hitting that very small details. For that part, for the very small details, I really recommend taking a smaller brush and take your time. No worries, you will get better and better over your hobby life. This is not the easiest part in the hobby, but you got this. Here are some tips to achieve a better result on all your small details. Number 1, I noticed a lot of painters, especially beginners, hold their brush too far back. I really recommend hold your brush as close as possible to the tip. That gives you the best control. The next thing I noticed, it's an overloaded brush and a too thin paint consistency. And the last thing, this is a more complicated thing, but I notice it on a lot of my students. Setting up highlights on very small areas require a little bit more risk. Don't be shy, starting with a big lighter color on the small areas, because you don't have a lot of surface to build up a bigger gradient. So what do we have? We have a basic painted miniature, we have a nice foundation, we have shading, and we also have our very first highlight. So overall, we have a nice result of that model. Like in the previous videos, we love checklists. So here is the checklist for the basic quality level. Number 1, the overall appearance of your model. Are the colors bright enough and are the shadows dark enough? Number 2, opaqueness and precision. Check your models for any kind of small areas. Are there some areas without highlight? Then touch it up. Number 3, this is very important. This is the troubleshooting part. If you have any kind of error, this happens to the best. It wouldn't be limitless painting if we haven't a solution for that. Our system will help you going back and forth in any kind of situation. So if you find an error or kind of a trouble, or maybe something is not totally opaque, go a step back, check it again, and then go further. So don't be scared of any happy little accidents. If you followed all our steps of painting, you are now done with the basic quality. Basic quality is a perfect gaming quality. You can use it for wargaming, you can use that techniques for the whole army, but also maybe for a D&D character. But wait, this is not the end of the road. If you want to improve yourself and your miniatures, this is the video you need.